golf course.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you, thank you.
This is the same thing. There we go. We'll call to order the meeting of the Stony Brook Community Development District. This is Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. The time is 9 a.m. We'll let the record reflect that all supervisors are present at roll call with the exception of Thomas. Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you. Do you have any public comments? Sharon?
Hi, my name is Sharon Fenstermaker. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I just have a couple quick questions. How is the survey of the Lancaster streets coming along? Has it even been performed? Has it even been talked about? Because you had mentioned that a survey was going to be taken on those roads. I haven't seen anybody down there with any equipment, so I'm assuming that nothing has been moved forward at this point in time. Do you have a time period as to when that will be done?
Sharon, no, because of the hurricanes, and I think we are somewhat behind. Adam?
Yeah, I've got something to say.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
meeting before last, I made a suggestion that I would go away and draw the lines as I see it, right? So it would include from the area that was re-tarmacked, all the way through Lancaster on the right-hand side, going down to the pool area, excluding the carports and excluding the parking
Parking area
spots
that are striped.
that kind of adjoin the buildings or, the structures. I put that drawing together, if you will, and I sent that to Tony about I think it was just before last meeting, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it at the last meeting because we had a very busy agenda. I'm not sure if Tony's prepared to discuss that for this one or not.
No, sir.
No.
Okay.
We'll have to put it off till the November
Well,
meeting.
I guess part of the question is the staff authorized to work with Adam to engage the district engineer and their surveying crew to survey that? We're waiting until next board meeting, just get a scope, at least get a scope of the survey. The price and scope to do.
Yeah, I think before we do that, we as a board need to understand and be on the same page. There's a lot of, I think, unclarity between us as to what is and what isn't. So it'd be my proposal that I send my proposal to Chuck disseminate it to the board before we engage in any kind of engineering.
And also have it in the agenda packet for the next board meeting.
Yeah.
Yes. And the other thing, too, that we had discussed is that in doing all this, this would not include the parking spaces.
Correct. This
Okay.
does not include the parking spaces. This does not include anything in the carports.
Okay. So
I wonder how that's going to work.
Okay.
because- Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, with that being said, this is something that I believe that when we should do the scope of the work of what we feel that we can do. We can look at the parking spaces, but with that being said, that is something that the HOA and the condos need to come together, and it would be a group effort of the three organizations to finish this paving, because I think it will look horrible if we just do the center, but I don't feel that as this organization that we need to redo your parking spaces and striping of your parking spaces. So with that being said, I think we'll need to get prices on all that, and that the condos, the HOA, and the CDD need to come to terms with who's paying for what and how much. And that would be my proposal.
Yeah, and Madam Chair, if I may, as I'm thinking about it, for a number of reasons. One, as I understand it, the Master Association is leading the charge. They want to take care of all this, not the individual condominium association. That's my understanding. So to that point, whether or not we need to get U.S. Home, Lennar, WCI, anywhere the Master Association involved, I think that would just be the roadway, as I understand. I mean, that's something I can maybe double check with the position that's being taken by Joe Adams, the attorney for the Master Association,
Right.
as opposed to going into the parking areas, which may be common elements or limited common elements, are possible. So I think that's some of the concerns, in addition to just operationally. But yeah, I think with the indulgence of Adam and the board, I'll send that exhibit to Mr. Adams also and say, here's what, one concept that the board's going to discuss at the next board meeting, and then set up a conference call with Joe Adams to go over some of these thoughts before the next board meeting also.
Okay, now,
Is that
when we,
acceptable?
in doing this, we're talking about doing the roads going into their parking areas and then just the center of their parking areas? Is that what
Yeah.
you had looked at? Okay.
Yeah.
So-
I don't think this is about doing the project at this point. I think it's about assuming
Determining.
who is going to take ownership of that area. And once we establish that, we can figure out how to operationalize it, how
Okay.
to redo the parking spots, repave it, whatever. I mean, there's going to need to be some collaboration, but I think we need to just get on the same page, the five of us, and make sure that we
Are in agreement
are in
with this.
agreement with what we own, or what we think we should take ownership of in the future.
Yeah, and one other aspect, the reason why I mentioned about Mr. Adams is
Yeah.
he does not represent any of the 6 condominium associations, or the condominium associations,
There's 4.
the 4, excuse me. He doesn't represent any one of them.
Yep,
Who doesn't?
So to the extent that he represents the master,
yep.
Oh, you're talking about Attorney Adams.
Joe Adams.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay,
So to the
yes.
extent that any of the areas in the parking and the carports are parts of the condominium associations, then that's, again, that can make things much more complicated.
Okay,
From a legal perspective, not just operationally. But
okay. So we'll look at it and send that information out, and
Yeah.
then we'll put it on the agenda for the November meeting.
I
Okay.
drove through there and, you have the valley gutter on the one side, which is the carport side. And the other side is all asphalt, including the parking spaces. And
Yeah.
I don't see how in the world you can just do a road without doing those parking spaces to make it look.
Reasonable. Oh, I agree. But again,
Because if you just, for better terms, chisel out and do from the valley gutter over to where the parking space starts, okay, you're gonna damage that area, then they're gonna have somebody come in, take that out and pave that area. I just don't see how it's feasible we do it without doing those parking spaces that are against the condos.
right, so that's why I'm saying that as a group, we need to decide who's responsible for those and how we're going to do that. So if we can get that paperwork out, and then we'll look at it and discuss it at the next meeting.
Yeah, Chris, I agree with you. I think it's something later on down the road. And I mean, we've done it. We've done it where our road meets the entrance to this parking lot, but I agree
Yeah.
with you. I think it would look
Tacky.
worse
Yeah, it
Well, yeah,
will.
because
in a long run like that.
yeah, I mean, here you're talking about one entrance, and, that could be.
I have
There's-
I have no interest in us repaving something and upsetting the residents of Lancaster and doing it in a half
Right.
kind of way, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sharon, we'll bring it up at the next meeting.
I appreciate all your work, Mr. Adams. Okay, the last thing is, a few months ago, I was here at the podium, and I asked about the landscaping
We're still-
project on Lancaster Run.
We're still working on it. We're doing, what we said at the last meeting, or the 2 meetings
I
ago.
wasn't here the last meeting, I was
Okay.
in Ohio, so I
Okay.
don't know what you said at the last
The
meeting.
main road is being done, and then we're going to finish Lancaster. That was the last part of the landscaping. So we're doing...
What needs to be done on the main roads?
Oh, we are redoing a lot of the landscaping on the main road, and we are trying to cover those electrical boxes and replacing the landscaping along the main road.
So you're assuring me that Lancaster will be done?
It is part of the plan, and we say this every meeting you bring this up, Sharon. It is part of the plan, and it
But have
will
you
be
been
done.
down Lancaster Run?
Yes, I have.
It looks absolutely deplorable. I can't even imagine why any of the 1,119 homeowners in here would be proud to take someone, if a condo would be on the market, to be proud of this community by taking them down the main part of Lancaster Run. It's disgusting,
We are working on it, Sharon, and it will be done.
but you can't give me a time frame.
I have to work with the vendors, I have to, the way it was
What
put out.
vendors? John takes care of landscaping. What
No, we have a vendor that is doing it, Sharon. John's people are not doing the
Are you
landscape.
saying the project, or are you talking about just the landscaping in general right now needs to be cleaned up? 'Cause
Oh,
it's two
it's
different
up, yeah.
topics.
Come
Needs to
down
be,
there.
And that's
needs to be replaced.
different.
Pardon?
30 years old, it needs to be replaced.
Absolutely.
Right, and
John's right.
And that's part of the project, the landscaping project that we are doing. Yes.
I guarantee you, if your street looked like our street, it would be done already. Thank you very much for your time.
We all, oh, I'm not gonna say anything. Okay, Mark, you're next. Oh, I'm sorry, did you have some, did you have some? Okay, I'm sorry, Michelle.
Okay, I'm Michelle. I am the owner at 21555 Bellhaven Way. I've been a resident here since 2011.
Michelle, what's your last name, please?
Lingley. It's Linglet. Several months ago, the grounds crew came out to was in my backyard. Just one day was back there and had hopped the fence and was cutting down some trees on the preserve. I presume one of them must have been invasive. There's a cluster of them. So thank you for doing that. And but when they came back about, it was our crew. It was not me.
No, I don't know. We also have that company that goes back here.
Right, that's
and
the
maintains
HOA
it.
had hired a company.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So the crew came back about a week later and poured a brown liquid all over this area that they had cut down to prevent growth back. It is right next to a giant pine that has been living the entire time that I've been here and quite healthy. However, in the 360-degree radius, if that now dead pine tree falls over, 180 of that would be on my property, which is my roof and my lanai.
Okay, Michelle, before you go any further, if that was preserve work, that was the HOA, because at that point in time, the HOA hired the company to do the work in the preserve. So it was not John's maintenance group that would have done that. It would have been the company that was hired by the HOA.
So when I came here last week, thank you for setting that record straight, I was told that apparently it was one person's job and now it's been moved over to another person's job and in between all of this mess. However, the gentleman last week, I came in and met with Stanley, sent out a manager that works here, Tom, to my home. And Tom said, I will make sure we take care of this. I see how this happens. And I see how this happens.
Tom or
okay?
Todd?
Just Todd.
Todd,
sorry.
okay.
So I then get an email from Mrs. Rodriguez telling me that they're citing that they cannot take it down because it's on the preserve, even though there was pure negligence of pouring that chemical which caused the pine tree to die. Now we're citing preserve reasons and telling me that I need to follow up with you all. If I can just take that down as a homeowner, a worried homeowner, I'd love to have that opportunity.
Is that actually in the preserve or outside the preserve?
It's right on the other side of the fence.
Okay, all
I
right.
know where it's at.
Okay, so...
I'll take a look at it.
Okay, so what we need to do is that, yes, the CDD will be taking over the work at the preserve area. At this point in time, the HOA has not yet signed that agreement, nor have they given us any documentation with regard to what had already been done. So what happened was part of the HOA before we took, because we still haven't gotten a signed document to take over that area. So we're truly, and Phil Simonson will go out and look at it, but it is, and John, the HOA is going to have to work with this because that was done prior to, and again, we still don't even have the documentation signed.
The reality is the contract that we had is void before. That is your responsibility. It was your responsibility before that contract. So.
The preserve?
Just a clarification.
John, the preserve area, the contract hasn't even been signed.
Right, but the contract that was signed in 1999, we ended that contract. So all those responsibilities went back to you. All
Okay.
the things that ended up getting moved over to the children.
Okay. And
I think we can go back and forth on the legalese,
Yes.
plus
But we're still waiting
the
for
fact that
receipts from
the vendor you
Dennis.
guys contracted at the time did this damage, so we can go back and forth on it. At the end of the day, we have this lady that needs some help.
Don't say that in front. I understand. I've seen it.
So instead of wasting her time,
We'll make contact with the individual that was working on it and start the process.
I mean, you had a contract with them, they did based on what she's saying, I don't,
Yeah.
I have to go off the facts of what she's saying,
Right.
is that your vendor did this.
Because I thought I had the picture of the tree too, and I don't,
The tree is huge. But it's been well living since,
So,
Okay.
this is the tree. And it's hard to see. This is the tree that's in
this-
question. I was
it's
hoping it
a
was
big
just going
pine
to
tree in the
bounce
preserve.
back.
It's not a threat to the home, but yes, definitely the pool cage. It is.
Okay.
And my roof.
No, it wouldn't hit your roof. It's not long enough to hit your roof. I've already measured it. I do this all the time, but it is, if it were a fall, it hit.
Bottom line, it would damage some of your property.
Right, it's gonna damage property,
Either
So,
way.
it hit the fence.
this
Now,
is-
with that being said, it's in the preserve, we are not allowed to go in there with any kind of equipment other
Can you,
than
send
horse-drawn
that to the
buggy,
CDD
on foot.
email?
I don't even know what the rules are, is it allowed to be in that preserve to cut that tree down? It's a natural habitat. Like, you know, we had to take tree stands out. So if we get permission, I have no problem going in there and taking it down, but I can't just go in there right now and just cut this tree down because there's a worried homeowner. I would love to. You know how many other trees there probably are along that fence line around us that are probably a threat to somebody's pool cage? I get that. I 100%, but I can't just go in there and do it because I was asked to. There's a process.
This was done because of negligence.
Yes.
This,
Right.
well, it wasn't us.
No,
It
it's-
doesn't matter how it happened.
Okay.
It's still, you can't go with negligence with negligence.
All the time, we go back and forth and who's responsible.
Okay.
Just get it done.
And it's not even a responsibility.
No, I understand
As far as that, once the responsibility, that's fine, but once you get the responsibility aspect of it, how are you allowed to go do it?
Right.
There's that aspect of it.
Tony, one thing, and Chuck can disagree, at times South Florida Water Management District, if it's a South Florida conservation easement, and I don't know if it's in a sterile village or Lee County preserve area.
This one's water management.
It's water management. If there are hazards to properties, a lot of times they will. If you contact them and they come do a site visit, they will let you to engage in certain remedial activities. Is that correct, Chuck? That's your
And
experience?
essentially, it's just dropping the tree. Drop it
Or
back
it
into
stays,
the
right.
preserve and it stays there as habitat.
Perfect.
So whoever I don't know who you want to have contact South Florida, John, you know, give the contact people there? or-
Swift Mud?
Yeah.
Yeah, Swift Mud, probably Mark's the best one to reach out to them and just, you know, get them to confirm that in fact, and they're gonna want a picture of this thing showing that it's in a precarious position. so.
And I guess to John's point too, if there are other trees that structures may be within the fall zone, if they were to kill them, if they're in bad condition or not. Are there some others that are in bad shape that may fall over?
I'm presuming.
You would have
Because I know that area.
You would have to
I
think
know
there
it.
are.
Do me a favor, don't go looking.
That's what, but I can guarantee you that on a 3-mile radius,
That's
I'm
okay.
sure there's a couple
We'll
other trees.
focus on-
You know, we have some homeowners that have cages almost that are directly to the fence line,
I would
so.
suggest focus on this tree and get with Mark.
Right, address is 21555, Bellhaven,
Even with that,
55.
John, even with that, if your neighbor's tree falls on your house during a hurricane, the neighbor,
The homeowner's
The
responsible.
homeowner's responsible.
No, absent the tree being diseased
Right.
or
I'm saying
damaged.
during a hurricane.
They're not required. They're not-
If it's a healthy tree that falls on your house, you're,
So why, this is definitely a damaged tree. We don't have to worry about anything else.
No,
This was
right.
done by someone doing the work. Why don't we just go chop the damn thing down and get over this?
Well, and that's why we suggested contacting South Florida. Mark, do that, get that permission, get some photos out there, show them,
Phil.
so we don't have an
I'd
issue.
rather contact the right people, get permission, than go do it and get some freaking fine.
Right.
Because that's what we're looking at.
And that's what's going to happen.
So if you, sorry,
Thank
if
you.
you could get the picture, because he needs a photo, correct?
Yeah, photo and locations, or,
I'll go right after this meeting when I leave here, I'll go down there and I'll take the photo.
Okay, she has it, she has it.
Can't miss it, Mark.
Well, my house is touched.
but I think it's good that Mark takes a photo.
She's got a big spider out front, it's huge.
Here, I'm gonna come down there, I'm wait,
Sure,
sorry.
you're welcome to. I'm not going to be there. Go back to work, sorry.
It's okay.
I think it's better that Mark take the photo when he sends it to South Florida.
Yeah.
Hey,
And I'm sorry for Todd saying that he was, because he doesn't know 100% of all the, you know, because I had to explain to Todd, I said, Todd, we can't just go back here and cut this out. He's like, man, I told her we were gonna cut. I'm like, well, next time, just say, hey, we'll look into it, you know what I mean? Because there are there's avenues and outlets that we have to go. We can't just willy-nilly. I'd love to. I have no problems
Thank you.
You know, because it would literally take us 2 minutes to cut that thing down and fall. With the proper permission and structure, you know what I mean? But if I'm in there and then her neighbor sees me in the preserve cutting down a tree and calls it down, you know?
And then we get fined for it. And their fines are not cheap. So,
Well, I appreciate your time today, and thank you for working through this.
no problem.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Who was the spraying contractor?
John, what was the name of the company that did this?
I don't have that.
Okay, because I'm still waiting for receipts
One of them
from
might have been
the
Blue
HOA
Water,
with regard to
Blue-
that.
I don't know, I'm not 100% on that.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, Stanley might have it, but again, John, I still haven't received any receipts that I've asked for several months ago with regard to what work had been done. So do I ask Nicole for that, or who do I go to get them? Because I did ask Nicole, I did ask Dennis several times for the last several months, and I've gotten nothing. So, okay, I'll contact Dennis again and ask him for it. Okay, we're going to skip you guys for just a moment. I have Sean and Mike from, what? Oh, Mark. I'm sorry, Mark. I thought you were all done. Honestly, I think I was hoping you were all done. Okay.
All right, Mark Zordon, Johnson Engineering for the record. We're going to discuss the proposal for the 3 drainage improvements and the driveway realignment. So I've handed out a set of plans, final design plans for the improvements. And then with that, you've got a proposal from Southern Striping / Collier Paving. I just received this yesterday from Alex DeMarco. With this proposal, I just want to state that I have not had our transportation engineer that did the design plans, he has not had a chance to review and comment on this. I did have discussions with Alex about the prices. I compared the prices to the FDOT Zone 10, which is Lee County, for historical price comparison for the last year. These unit prices are high, but here's the thing, it's not comparing apples to apples, because with FDOT you have such large quantities and volumes where these are such small quantities. The other thing next would be, I questioned Alex about the mobilization. It's 3 different contractors, so it's his company. Then he's going to use Blue Water to do the pipe installation for the 2 locations at the gate and at the driveway realignment. And then for the street light pole relocation, he would use Steve Bentley Electric. And then his operation is multifaceted in the fact that, you know, he'd have a crew for the 34 valley gutter replacements and the 80 feet of concrete sidewalk replacement at the intersection, and then, you know, he'd have the driveway realignment crew, the excavation and repaving. What else can I tell you about this? That's basically it. The price is $204,000 and change. I'm not sure what your thoughts are. I know everybody I apologize, the hurricane kind of messed things up with trying to move this along.
Chuck, where are we financially?
Well,
And this would be part of the excess from the road project, correct? Or that was the plan?
That was the plan.
another comment I want to make now that you just said that was the only unit price that is the same off of the original contract is the valley gutter replacement. All the other items and units are different. There was nothing that was identically the same with the quantities. I mean, yeah, you have mobilization and maintenance of traffic, the lump sum items, clearing and grubbing.
But everything else is different, so the only same unit price you have is the valley gutter replacement from the original contract. I wanted to point that out, that's important.
Actually, you do have sufficient funds. I was thinking of the other construction funds. So you're, as of the end of September, sitting at $1,992,000.
Okay,
Actually, you have a retainage payable, so you're actually $1,843,000.
okay. Well, I don't want to pay this much, but we need to get this done. I would make a motion that we accept this.
Second.
This 204.
Don't we have to do a bid when it's over a certain dollar amount?
Under construction, that number is now up in the $450,000 range, so this is a separate standalone project.
Is it a change order to the existing contract also or not?
Correct.
The unit pricing is different, so I would say it's not.
I think that's what we're,
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay?
Yeah, it's a smaller project, separate and distinct.
okay.
Okay, so,
I think two of the projects, the one in front of Duffy's and the one in front of number one, it protects the investment that we have made on the Gulf Boulevard there.
okay, so I have a motion, a second. Comments, Phil? Chris? I know.
would it, no, I'm just, I was thinking, would it potentially bring the price down if we wait and we do this when we get all the condo figured out, do the project all at one time, because they would that potentially make a difference, because they would have the materials here, the people here, resources here.
What was the timing on getting this done? Wasn't this really before the height of the season starts?
He could get this done at this point before Christmas.
I'm just throwing it out there because
I think I'd rather avoid the seasonal traffic if we can. So, he said by Christmas it'll be done and they'll all be back here in January, so it'd be nice to get.
The last step to doing this is we have to submit for the LDO. We had thought that we could modify the existing one. We have to file, and the application's already, it's all prepared, ready to just hit the send button. The last time it took 2 to 3 weeks, I think, is what Debbie said, to get that LDO. Once the LDO, Alex is ready to move on this. I would realistically say at this point, it would be December.
Okay.
I don't want to start throwing out
Unrealistic dates.
unattainable
Oh, I agree.
milestones
We're
here.
taking that tree down, right?
Yes.
By one?
Yeah.
Is that in here?
That's part of the project.
It's included with Alex, yeah, he knows about that.
Okay. There's no more comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Mark, you can start. Thank you very much.
That's all I have, unless anybody has anything else.
Don't want any more money?
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mark. Okay.
I had a question, Mark. We had a meeting about redoing the golf course. Do you do that type of work, you and your company?
They do. I would have to go back to the office and ask, do we have the resources, to take on that project at this time?
There's one area we're talking about. Can we go out there with you when you get the time?
Yeah.
We got some questions about it.
Which area is that, Phil?
You know where you're going from 13th Green to 14th Tee?
13th.
That little area that's nothing but cypress trees
Yeah.
that we keep talking about, is that protected or not protected?
Yeah, it's not a preserve, it's not labeled as a preserve in the
Okay.
county, but
If we do the
trees are still protected
thing,
by
some of that stuff's coming out,
Okay.
so we need to get an answer.
So if it's not a preserve area, it's ours.
Yeah. we need
Right,
to-
but it's still, the trees are still protected by
The
law.
cypress
So-
trees?
Oh, the cypress trees. Okay.
So, we just want to make sure, what would it take? Like you said, we have to get LDO, and then
Oh, okay.
we might have to plant some more cypress
Someplace.
along the property or somewhere else, just,
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I like that idea.
You'll get in touch with Phil Simonson and you two can work together on that?
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Mark. Okay.
When I'm not in the lake.
Okay, I'm moving things around, guys.
No, that's what I think that's best.
I have Sean and Mike from Wildcat Roofing, if you want to come up here. Sean has looked at the roofs on the 2 bathrooms, the cart barn, and the maintenance. And they have, and some of the stuff that they have done, and I'll let them explain further just as a preview, is we're trying to get the insurance from Hurricane Ian.
Yep, thank you, everyone.
So, okay.
Yep, Sean with Wildcat Roofing and Restoration.
Michael. Hey, Sean, one sec.
Yep.
So during Hurricane Ian, you had 2 years to put a claim in, all right? And we put in 2 claims. We put in a claim for trees, shrubbery, and plant damage. Our coverage was $50,000. After our deductible, we got, I think, the full payment. The second thing that we put in for was business continuity, lost revenue. Our coverage was $105,000. We put in for that after our deductibles. I feel like we got the full amount. The third thing that we're covered for is about $1.1 million worth of building damage. We've got 7 buildings on site. We got like maybe $1,000 worth of damage recovery from Ian. So before we reached the 2-year anniversary, we had Sean come out, look at the cart barn, look at the other 6 buildings, and they've come back with an estimate and some storm damage that they feel was there and just not properly inspected.
Okay. Thank you. Yep, so once again, Sean with Wildcat Roofing and Restoration. This is my business partner, Michael. Above and Beyond Painting and Decorating is my brother's company. You might recognize that logo. He's a resident here in Stony Brook.
He did the pro shop.
Yep, he did the pro shop. And simply what had happened is I take my son here at night to hit golf balls. I had noticed damage on the cart barn one day. I got in touch with Kyle, who is a childhood friend of mine, and I asked, was there an inspection of any sorts done? He mentioned that there was a leak that took place in the cart barn, and we had asked, if they'd like a free inspection or licensed and insured or a local family company. We did the inspection to find some damages, which I actually have in this report here, which I can pass along. There's quite a few pages if you want to just view a few. There's some other reports here.
Oh, that's just one report?
Yeah, that's one report, and I actually have a brochure there that kind of mentions a little bit about the product that we use. Our manufacturer's ICP. We do what's called a foam installation. The cart barn, as you know, is a tile roof engineered to hold another tile roof. And we believe a lot of the damage that was caused on that tile roof is because of the type of installation that was done on that roof and because of the hurricane wind speeds that measured over 140 miles per hour here in this area. We have replaced, I think 3, if not more, roofs in Stony Brook ourselves due to Hurricane Ian that were approved by the insurance company. I'm not here to entice in any way of going through the insurance process. I just simply mentioned to Kyle, and he had got me connected with Adam, mentioning that we believe there was hurricane damage that took place, and the damages that we see were clearly not foot traffic, but heavy winds. That is the cart barn that you're viewing. I have a few other reports here, including the maintenance building, the bathroom on hole 5 and 6, along with hole 5 and 6, I think it's 15, and then the pump house as well. I'll pass those along for you. At this point in time, where we stand is I received back 2 of my aerial views. A few of the buildings I was not able to get an aerial view because there was no address to that actual building. So with your permission, Michael and I would like to go and hand measure that today. We brought our measuring tools so that way we can get you a firm quote. We gave you what's called our Addendum A, which is a rough estimate. But the quote will fall within those lines, and having a discussion with Adam, we do believe strongly we'd be able to help. At this point in time, I believe a claim was made. In that claim, we believe that you were shortchanged, for lack of better terms. So I had mentioned to Adam that all of our customers at this point in time have needed representation in one form or another, whether that was a public adjuster or an attorney. I had a conversation with my attorney sharing about this case, and she measured the wind speeds. With those wind speeds, she recommended that we do what's called a supplement, and I thought this was very kind of her because she could jump in. The way she works is on an increase. She mentioned do a supplement because a claim was made, meaning we send in our estimate, we have a signed estimate with an agreement for roof replacement. We go through that process. There's a good chance that with that supplement, we can have conversations as a roofing contractor with the carrier to hopefully bring the amount of approval up, not just from a repair, but to a replacement. I can assure you they're probably going to go in low. We had to start in negotiations at a certain number, and if they beat us down, we left a little cushion, even though they're supposed to pay us more because we're going through the process and on their software should be paying us more. However, because of the extra work that we do, this could take a year, 2 years going through that process. If at a point in time we need to bring the attorney in, hopefully by then we'll have that number that is approved by the insurance company increase, and with that increase, it'd be less money that would have to go to the attorney, which was her idea, which I thought was very kind of her to help save you funds as well as time with the process of getting the roofs approved by the insurance company. So, any questions for me and Michael?
Just real quick, what 2 buildings could you not get? The bathrooms?
The bathrooms on 5, it's like between 5 and 6. I think it's 15, if I'm not mistaken, 14,
Yeah, 14
15,
and
the part 3
15.
and part 4 there. And then the pump house, I was not able to get an actual address. So I have my measuring wheel. I need to go do the perimeter and a tape measure. I need to physically get on the roof. We're licensed and insured. We do this every day. One thing I will note is I don't believe after reviewing the policy, because Adam had to ask me to review the policy regarding the Duffy's and Pro Shot building, I believe it is an exclusion from your policy. So just so you're aware, I did include a report because we did find broken tiles on that building. If we could offer assistance in terms of a repair, we'd be happy to do so. I'm not sure what that looks like for you guys, but we'd be happy to do so in addition to working through the process of getting the roofs approved with the insurance company.
Okay, Sean, this is Lisa Paul. She's the managing agent for the Duffy's for
Hi,
the
Lisa.
building. She would be the one that I'd like you to speak with regard to the Duffy's building,
Doing the repair there.
doing the repairs
Okay.
there. So if you have a card, you can give her and you guys can...
Absolutely. Have
Okay,
cards on.
thank you very much.
Sean, can you just talk a little bit about assignment of benefit and how your contract does not include that, what that is? Just,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure board members are aware of that.
Good question, thank you, Adam. So during Hurricane Irma, you guys probably heard horror stories of contractors